Okay, good morning, one and all. Today class is a part 10, unit 1, part 10. Today topic is a flywheel condition 2. Today topic is a flywheel condition 2. Okay, the topic is a load equalization. In load equalization, function of a flywheel. Okay, in load equalization, function of a flywheel. This flywheel has a two conditions: condition 1, condition 2. Condition 1 is a motor is a motor load is increasing. Condition 1 derivation is completed. Okay, this is the derivation. And condition 2. Condition 2 is a motor has a decreased load. Okay, motor has a decreased load. If motor has a decreased load, okay, this is the second condition. The second condition. Okay, this is the second condition. If motor has a decreasing load, okay, then flywheel accelerates and stores kinetic energy. Flywheel accelerates and stores kinetic energy. Okay, this is the total torque of the motor. This is the initial torque and this is the flywheel torque. Okay, this derivation can be done in a whiteboard. Okay, load equalization. Load equalization. To maintain load equalization, we use a flywheel. We use a flywheel. Okay, this flywheel has a two conditions. First condition is a load is increased. Load is when load is increased, and second one is a when load is decreased. Okay, when load is increased, flywheel decelerates. Flywheel decelerates and gives stored kinetic energy stored kinetic energy. Okay, when load is decreasing, flywheel accelerates. Flywheel accelerates and stores kinetic energy Okay, these are the two conditions. Okay, in first condition, we get a formula. Tm is equal to T minus Tm is equal to okay, T naught e power minus T by jk. Okay, TL minus T naught into e power minus jk. Now in second condition, okay, in second condition, load is decreased. Load is decreased and flywheel flywheel accelerates and stores kinetic energy. While storing kinetic energy, slip is negative. Okay, slip is negative. Slip is a negative. Now total formula is tau m is equal to T naught plus T naught plus TF. Okay, T naught plus TF. Okay, T naught plus TF. Now we have to find the value of TF. Okay, now we have to find a value of TF. The value of TF is minus J into ds by dt. This is the direct formula. Okay, in first equation, while deriving first equation, formula is J into ds by dt. J into ds by dt in a first derivation. Now it is a negative value. ds by dt is a negative value. Hence, value is minus j into ds by dt. Now substitute this value t naught minus j into ds by dt. Okay. Now t naught minus j into, what is the value of s? S is equal to k into tm. Okay, substitute this value d by dt into k into tm. Now t naught minus jk into d tm by dt, that is equal to tm minus t naught is equal to minus jk d tm by dt. Next, next tm minus t naught into dt minus jk d theta m. Okay, dt by minus jk is equal to d theta m by tm minus t naught. Tm minus t naught. Now integrate both sides. Integrate both sides. Minus t by jk is equal to log tm minus t naught plus constant c2. Okay, c1 is the constant in derivation 1 and c2 is the constant in derivation 2. This is the main equation, equation 1. This is equation 1. Now we have to find the value of c2. To find a value of c2. To find c2. To find c2, we have to go through the initial condition. Initial condition. What are the initial conditions? T is equal to 0 and Tm is equal to Tm dash. Okay, Tm is equal to Tm dash are the initial conditions, and substitute these value in above equation. That means these equation becomes this equation becomes 0 is equal to log Tm minus T naught plus C2. Okay, now C2 is equal to minus log Tm minus T naught. Okay, now substitute this C2 value in the above equation. Substitute this C2 value in the above equation. Now minus T by Jk is equal to log Tm minus T naught minus log, this is Tm dash, Tm dash minus T naught. Okay, it is in the form of log A minus log B. Okay, that is a log A by B, log Tm minus T naught by Tm dash minus T naught. Okay, here we have base E. It is in the form of log form. Now we are substituting, now we are converting this log into exponential form. Okay, exponential form means whatever be the term beyond e goes to left hand side, and left hand side term comes to right hand side. Okay, now Tm minus T naught by Tm dash minus T naught is equal to e power minus jk, e power minus T by jk. Okay, now Tm minus T naught is equal to Tm dash minus T naught e power minus T by jk. Okay, now Tm is equal to T naught plus Tm dash minus T naught e power minus T by jk. Okay, this is the final expression. This is the final expression for a second condition. Second condition, when load is decreased. When load is decreased and a flywheel accelerates and stores energy in kinetic form. Okay, this is the derivation. See here, this is the derivation. Okay, T naught plus Tm dash minus T naught e power minus T by jk. Okay, here we can write these j into k as a time constant. Okay, here tau is equal to time constant is equal to jk. Jk is the time constant. Okay, next, this is the first problem in this topic. A 15 HP 3-phase 8 pole and a 50 H induction motor provides with a flywheel as a supply, load torque of 600 Newton meters for 10 seconds, followed by a no load, during which the flywheel regains the full speed. The full load slip of a motor is 4%, and a torque speed curves may be assumed linearly over the working range. Find the moment of inertia of the flywheel. Okay, moment of inertia of the flywheel. Moment of inertia means J. we have to find a value of j. Okay, this is the j value. Already we have a e power minus ty jk. Okay, in this term we have to find a value of j. Okay, next here given that p output is equal to 15 hp converted into kilowatts. 1 hp is equal to 735.5. Okay, 1 hp is equal to 730.5 kilowatts. Here number of poles is equal to 8. Number of poles is equal to 8. Frequency is given 50 hertz, and slip is given 4%. 4% means 4 by 100. That is 0.04. 0.04. And next time is given. Time is 10 seconds. Load torque is given 600, and motor torque is given. Motor torque is given that 2 into full load torque. 2 into full load torque, and the initial torque is 0. Already we have formula. T motor torque is equal to T initial, T load torque, T load torque minus T flywheel torque. This is the basic formula. Okay, first of all you have to find what is the synchronous speed. Synchronous speed is equal to 120 F by P. 120 into 1550 divided by 8, that is 750 rpm. Okay, full load torque formula is you know that power is equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, we know that power is equal to 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, from this formula, this is the full load torque. Okay, now full load torque is this formula, 60 p naught by 2 pi speed of full load torque. Okay, now full load torque speed is equal to synchronous speed into 1 minus s. Okay, already we find that synchronous speed is equal to 750 into 1 minus 0.04. 0.04 is the slip. Okay, now full load speed is 720 rpm. Okay, from that now we have to find what is a full load torque. Okay, full load torque is equal to same. This is the formula. Okay, from this formula substitute in this formula. Now we get full load torque is equal to 146.39. 146.39 Newton meters. Okay, here already given that motor torque is equal to 2 into full load torque. Okay, 2 into full load torque, 2 into 146.39. Okay, now you got a motor torque. Next, slip speed. Okay, next one is a slip speed. That means a slip into speed. Slip into speed, that is a 30 rpm. Okay, 30 rpm converted into radians per second, because always slip speed is in radians per second. Okay, radians per second. Already you know that in derivation SC is directly proportional to Tm. Now S is equal to K into Tm. Okay, now find K is equal to S by Tm. Okay, why we are finding K? Because in final formula we have j into k. Okay, so that we want the value of k. Okay, next, already in this formula tm is already calculated, tl is given, here tl also given, t naught is given. Next, t is given, and k we have to find k, so that we can obtain value of j. Okay, so that now we are finding a k value. Okay, k is equal to s by tm. S is the slip speed. Okay, already previously we find this slip speed. Okay, slip speed 3.14 divided by 146.39, that is equal to 0.0214. This is the constant, therefore no units. Okay, now take the formula that is in condition 1. Okay, condition 1 formula is tm is equal to TL minus TL minus T naught into e power minus T by jk. Okay. Now we are changing this formula to find j. Okay. Now TL minus T naught into e power minus T by jk is equal to TL minus Tm. Now e power minus T by jk is equal to TL minus Tm by TL minus Tm by TL minus T naught. Okay. So you have to substitute here. Okay. Substitute these values. Substitute these values. TL is equal to 600. Tm is equal to 292.78. And next one is TL minus T naught. Okay. TL minus T naught, that is 600 minus 0. T naught is 0. Okay. Next. This is the ln. Ln means log to the base e. Okay. Log to the base e is called ln. Okay. If it is base e, then it is called ln. If it is base 10, then it is called log. Okay. These are the two differences. So that in calculator we use a ln whenever base is e. Okay. Now ln of this value is 0.669. Okay. Now minus t by jk is equal to 0.669. Now we have to find the value of t. Okay. T is equal to, now t is equal to 0.669 into jk. Now find the value of j. Okay. J value is 698.49. Okay. Now what is the value of this ln value? Okay. 600 minus 292 minus 78. 292.78 divided by 600. Okay. Ln of answer. Okay. Ln of answer is a minus. Okay. Minus 0.669. Here minus and minus get cancelled. The value is a positive value, that is 698.49 kg meter square. Okay. This is the value of inertia. Okay. Next problem. Next problem is a same problem, almost same problem. Here we are finding a same j value. Okay. Here also we are finding a j value. Okay. J value, and for the same formula, that is a condition 1. That is a first condition. Okay. In first condition, what is the first condition? Load is increased, flywheel decelerates and gives stored kinetic energy, Okay. This is the first condition. In this condition, okay, this is the formula. Tm is equal to TL minus T naught into e power minus T by kj. Okay. Here also you have to find a j value. Okay. Here given that see here question is a motor fitted with a flywheel that supplies a load of torque 800 Newton meter for 5 seconds. During no load period, flywheel regains its original speed. The motor torque is required to be limited to 600 Newton meter. The no load speed of the motor is 650 RPM, and its full load speed is 10%. Determine the moment of inertia of flywheel. Okay. Moment of inertia of the flywheel. Okay. Now we have to, first of all, this is the formula. Okay. In this formula, Tm is already given. Okay. In this formula, Tm is given. Okay. Tm is given. Next one is TL. TL is here also already given. Okay. TL also given. That is a motor torque. Okay. Motor torque is given, and a flywheel motor supply fitted to low torque. Okay. Low torque low torque is given 800, low torque is given, that is a 800 Newton meter. And next one is no load period. No load period means a no load torque is a, that is a 0. Okay, T naught also given, TL given, T naught also given. Next to e power minus T by jk. Okay, now we have to find for 5 seconds. Now we have to find for 5 seconds. Okay, that means T also given, that is 5 seconds. Okay, T is also given, that is 5 seconds. Next we have to find a K value. Next we have to find the value of K value. Already we know that S is proportional to Tm. Now S is equal to K into Tm. Okay, now K is equal to S by Tm. Okay, Tm is already given. Now we have to find the value of S. What is S? Slip speed. Okay, slip speed. This is the slip speed. Slip speed is equal to slip into speed, synchronous speed. Okay, slip into synchronous speed. Slip into synchronous speed. Okay, this is not 600, 650. Okay, 650 RPM. Already synchronous speed is given. Synchronous speed is given. That is 650 RPM. Okay, synchronous speed is 650 RPM into slip. Slip is 10%. 10% means 10% means 0.1. That is 0.1 into 650 RPM. But we have to find in radius per seconds. Radius per second means 2 pi by 60 into 2 pi by 60. Okay, 2 by 60. Hence value is 6.806. 6.806. That is the slip speed. Now substitute here. Okay, 6.806. That is 6.806 divided by 600 is equal to 0.01134. Okay, now we find the value of K. Now substitute all values in this final equation. Final equation we get this is the value, and from this value we find the value of J. J is 318.12 kg meter square. Okay, up to here all topics are completed. Okay, all topics are completed, and some of the topics are there, that is given access for you. Okay, this is the in summary I will tell what are the topics covered and what are the topics not covered. Okay, very few topics already you learn in AC machines. Okay, in AC machines what are the induction motor, what are the induction motor speed control methods, and what are the induction motor characteristics. Hello. Okay, this is the unit 1 summary. Okay, up to now unit 1 is completed, and this is the overall summary of the unit. Summary of the unit. Okay, first of all, nature of electric supply. Okay, nature of electric supply. This is the topic under selection of motors. Okay, selection of motors. For selection of motors, these 8 factors are the governing of selection of motors. Okay, these 8 factors are the governing of selection of motors. Okay, in this 8, this is the first one. First one is nature of electric supply. We have 2 types of electric supplies. First one is AC supply, and second one is DC supply. In AC supply, we have 2 types. First one is single phase, and second one is 3 phase. In 3 phase, again we have 2 types: 3 phase, 3 wire, 3 phase, 4 wire. Okay, 3 phase, 3 wire, and 3 phase, 4 wire. Okay, in 3 phase, 3 wire, it is called delta. 3 phase, 4 wire is called star connection. Okay, in DC, frequency is 0. In AC, frequency is 50 Hz in India, and 60 Hz in foreign countries. Okay, 60 Hz in foreign countries. In single phase, 220 volts supply. Okay, 220 volts AC supply. Frequency 50 Hz, and current is 5 amperes. Current is 5 amperes. In 3 phase, 440 volts. frequency is 50 hertz, and current is 20 amperes. In a 4 wire, 415 volts, frequency is 50 hertz, and current is 15 amperes. Okay. Next, nature of the drives. Nature of the drives, there are different types of there are different classification of drives, but here we consider classification depending upon a number of motors. Okay, depending upon number of motors, we classify the drives. These are group drive, individual drive, and a multi-motor drive. Group drive means it has a only one shaft. It has a only one shaft, but it has a different loads. Okay, this is load 1, load 2, and this is a load 3. Okay, in single shaft, it has a more than one load. That is called a group drive. Okay, next one is a individual drive. For individual drive, only one motor having a one load. Okay, one motor and a one load. That is called a individual drive. Okay, next one is multiple drive, multi-motor drive. Multi-motor drive has a single load. It has a single load, and it has a more number of motors. Motor M1, motor M2, motor M3, motor M4. Okay, it has only one load, but it has a different types of motors. That is called multi-motor drive. Next one is nature of loads. Nature of loads are classified into two types. Classified into two types. First one is with respect to time, and second one is with respect to duty cycle. With respect to duty cycle. Okay, this is the with respect to duty cycle. With respect to duty cycle. With respect to time, there are six types of classifications. There are six types of classification. First one is continuous and constant loads, and second one is continuous and variable loads. Next one is pulsating loads, impact loads. The fourth one is impact loads. Fifth one is short term intermittent loads, and next one is short time loads. For continuously constant loads, we have, this is the graph. Okay, this is the graph for continuously constant loads. Okay, next one is continuously variable loads. This is the graph for continuously variable loads. That is a straight line passing through origin. Next, pulsating loads. It is in the form of pulse. Okay, it is in the form of pulses. And next one is impact loads. Impact load means it has a sudden change. Okay, these are the impact loads. Next one is a short term intermittent loads. Short term intermittent loads means suppose this is the on time and this is off time. In on time, again on and off will be occurred. Okay, on and off will be occurred. That is called intermittent loads. Okay, short term intermittent loads means okay, already T on is very small. In this T on, we have a small on and off loads. This is called short term intermittent loads. Okay, and next one is a short time loads. Short time loads means it has a short on time and long off time. Short on time and long off time. Okay, T on and T off time. Okay, next continuous duty cycle. This is also continuous duty cycle. That means it has a equal and T on and T on and T off, which are turn on and turn off. Okay, short time duty cycle. Short time duty cycle also like a short time intermediate loads and short time loads. It has a T on is very short and T off is very long. Okay, this one is short and this one is long. Okay, next one is intermittent loads. These intermittent loads okay, these intermittent loads are equal in a pulses. Okay, equal in a pulse. This pulse is a P1 and next pulse also same height, that is P2. Next pulse also same, that is P3. Okay, here pulses are same and equal height, that is called intermittent loads. Okay, the derivation for this one, the derivation is this is the first derivation in the chapter in the unit 1, and that derivation is already we know that TH is equal to TF into 1 minus e power minus T by tau C. Okay, this is the heating, and next one is cooling. TC is equal to TF into TC is equal to TH into e power minus T by tau C. This is the second formula. Using these two formulas, this is the condition 1. Okay, and second condition is for second condition theta H1 theta C1. Okay, this is the second condition, and third condition is theta H2 theta C2. Okay, next condition is this is the third condition. Sorry, this is theta H2. Okay, correct. H1 and H2. This is the third condition, and fourth condition is theta H3 and theta C3. This is the fourth condition, and so on. Okay, on observing a final condition, a final equation is obtained, that is a motor heating equation. Okay, motor heating equation theta m is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus T by tau h divided by 1 minus e power minus T1. Okay, T1 by tau h plus T2 by tau C. Okay, this is the final equation for a intermittent duty cycle. Okay, next one is electrical characteristics. Next one is electrical characteristics. In electrical characteristics, we have three types of characteristics. First one is starting characteristics, and next one is starting characteristics and running characteristics. Second one is speed control, and third one is braking characteristics. Okay, braking characteristics are not in the syllabus, and now we have to study about the starting characteristics and running characteristics. Okay, what are the starting characteristics? Here starting characteristics are starts with speed versus current, torque versus current, and third one is power versus current. These three are the starting characteristics. Next, running characteristics are speed torque characteristics are the running characteristics. Okay, next, speed control method. In speed control method in DC, generally torque is directly proportional to speed is directly proportional to EB by 5. We know that EB is equal to V minus IA RA by 5. Hence, speed depends upon three factors: variable of voltage, variable of current, that is armature current, and variable of flux. Hence, okay, whenever voltage is varying, it is called voltage control method. Whenever armature current is varying, that is called armature control method. And whenever flux is varying, that is called flux control method. And these flux is directly proportional to field current. Hence, it is also called field control method. Okay, now for below rated speeds, armature control method is the best method. For above rated speeds, field control method is the best method. Here rated speed means 1500 rpm. Okay, rated speed means 1500 rpm. Okay, if it is below 1500, then armature control method is the best method, and above 1500 is the above 1500 field control method is the best method. Okay, beyond these three methods, another methods are there. Okay, for industrial purpose and for special applications, there are Ward-Leonard method. This is the special control method. Okay, which can be controlled using a voltage control method. Okay, in this controlling method, we use a voltage control method. Okay, using a voltage control method we can adjust any type of speed. Okay, in this Watt Leonard method we have three missions. We have three missions. Out of that, motor, generator, and motor. Here motor is M2, motor is M1, and generator G. Okay, in this DC and AC are there. Okay, in DC and AC almost same control. We have generator is variable. Okay, here generator is a varying one, and motors are constant fields. Okay, generator field is a varying, and a motor field is a constant. Here we have generator and motor set. Okay, generator and motor set. The main motor is M1. Next, boost speed control. In boost speed control, one generator. Here also three missions are there. Mission M2, M1, and a generator. Here also generator is a variable one. These generator is called here booster. Okay, in this method generator is called booster, and main motor is M1, and it is controlled with this booster. A reversing switch is also there. Whenever motor generator set is in reverse condition, using reverse switch it is controlled to same direction. Okay, next one is a constant current control method. Constant current control method. We have almost equal speed torque characteristics. Okay, these are the speed torque characteristics. Ideal speed torque characteristics are straight lines. Okay, if it is a straight line, this is called ideal speed torque characteristics. It is almost equal to ideal speed torque characteristics. But load is here important point is load is independent of current. Okay, generally if load increases, current increases. Okay, but in this method load is independent of current and constant current control method. Okay, voltage is varied, load is varied, but constant current. Okay, next one is a mechanical consideration. In mechanical considerations we have types of enclosures, types of bearings, types of transmission for drives, noise level, and second one, last one is a heating and cooling time constants of a motor. Okay, this is the very important topic in this consideration. Okay, next, types of enclosures. We have 9 types of enclosures. Okay, these 9 types of enclosures depends upon only 3 factors. Okay, what are the 3 factors? Dust, dirt, and foreign bodies. Dust, dirt, and foreign bodies. Okay, some may restrict dust, and other may restrict dirt, and other may restrict foreign, and some of the types may restrict both, and some of restrict all of the above. Okay, hence there are open type, protected type, screen protected type, dirt proof type, dirt proof type, dirt proof type, sorry, screen protected, drip proof type, splash proof type, splash splash proof type, total enclosure type, total enclosure with a fan cooled pipe ventilated flame proof type. Okay, and next one is types of bearings. There are 2 types of bearings, ball bearings, and second one is a sleeve bearing. Okay, in bearings 2 parts, inner part and outer part. Here we have bearings. Okay, here we have bearings. This outer part is called journal, and inner part is called bearing. Inner part is called bearing. Okay, in a ball bearings, in between we have balls, then it is called ball bearing. If these balls are absent, then it is called sleeve. Okay, ball bearing and sleeve type. Okay, next one is types of transmissions. Types of transmissions, there are 6 types of transmissions. That means 2 drives are there, and in between belt will be arranged, Okay, motor M1 and a motor M2. This is the drive 1 and this is the drive 2. Using these drive 1, drive 2 is operated. Okay, drive 2 is operated using this belt. Okay, and this is called a transmission of drives. Okay, transmission of drives. First one is a direct drive, second one is a belt drive, root drive, chain drive, gear drive, vertical drive. Okay, out of this belt drives are the most commonly used. In this V belt is used. Okay, V belt, this is the V belt drive. V belt drive, okay, is in the shape of V, hence it is called a V belt drive. Okay, next one is, next highest is a chain drive. Okay, chain drive can be used at any conditions, at any conditions. Next one is a noise level. Noise level can be calculated using a loudness. Okay, loudness that is a decibels. Okay, 1 bells is equal to 10 decibels. 1 bell is equal to 10 decibels. Okay, bell is the highest unit, decibels is the lowest unit. Next one is a heating and a cooling time constant. Okay, this is the second important topic. This is the second important topic in this chapter. Second important topic. In heating and cooling, we have a heating time constant tau H and a cooling time constant tau C. Okay, tau C is the heating time constant, that is a 63.2 percentage of final value. The time taken by the motor to reach its temperature from 0 to 63.2% of its final temperature, then it is called time constant, heating time constant. Okay, next one is a 36.8% of its final value. Okay, the time taken by the motor to reach 36.8% of its final value is called a motor time constant, that is a cooling time constant. Okay, that is a cooling time constant. Okay, for heating time constant, formula is theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power minus t by tau c, tau h. Okay, another formula is theta f minus theta naught minus theta 1 e power minus t by tau h. Okay, here t1 is the initial, t1 is the initial temperature of the motor, initial temperature of the motor. Okay, if the initial temperature of the motor starts from cooling, that is a 0. Okay, then above formula will be obtained. Okay, generally these formula is taken, taken. Okay, next one is for cooling time constant. For cooling time constant, theta is equal to theta f into 1 minus e power, sorry, e power minus t by tau c. Okay, e power minus t by tau c, where tau c is the cooling time constant. Okay, next, service capacity. In this service capacity, we mainly discuss about what is service capacity and rating. Okay, what is a service capacity and what is a rating. For rating, okay, we use these three methods. That is a equivalent current method. Next one is equivalent torque method and equivalent power method. For low loads, it is used okay, that is a equivalent current method. For short and intermittent loads, these equivalent torque method is used. And for power considerations, equivalent power method is used. Okay, in this equivalent power method, we have three conditions: normal condition, and P1 is equal to 0. That means curve starts from 0, and second one is a P1, that is a curve starts from P1. Okay. Now, what is the normal condition? This is the normal condition. This is P1, P2, P3, and formula is a RMS value. Okay, formula is a RMS value, that is a motor rating. Motor rating is equal to P1 square T1, P2 square T2, next P3 square T3, so on. That is a average T1 plus T2 plus T3 up to so on Tn and a square root. This is the normal formula. Okay. Next one is a abnormal graph starts with P1 is equal to 0. Abnormal graph starts with P1 is equal to 0. That is this is the graph. P1. This is the graph. That means here this graph starts from P1 is equal to 0. Whenever a slope is formed, then we have to multiply with 1 by 3. Okay, that means 1 by 3 P1 square T1 plus this is normal. Normal means P2 square T2. Next one also normal. Next one is P3 square T3. Next one also normal. Next P1 P4 square T4 plus next one is abnormal. That is a slope. Slope is there. Hence 1 by 3 P5 square T5. Okay. This is a negative. Hence you have to put a negative value. T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus up to T5 and a square root. This is the condition 2. Okay. Condition 2. Next one is a third condition. Next one is a third condition. Third condition is a this is the third condition. Now P1 starts from here. Okay, P1 starts from here, and this is the graph. Here it is the negative slope. This is the negative slope. Okay. Now formula is a P1 plus P2 minus P1 by T1 into T whole square, integral from 0 to T1 plus next one is normal one. Normal one P2 square T2. Next one also normal one P3 square T1 T3 plus next one is abnormal one. That is a P4 by T4 integral 0 to T4 into T. Okay, divided by T1 plus T2 plus up to so on T4 and a square root. This is the abnormal graph. Okay, and next one is appearance. Next one is appearance. There are three types of cooling purposes. Appearance means according to Indian standard, for cooling purposes they are divided into three categories. That one nature of cooling, self cooling, separate cooling. Okay, in a separate cooling we have three types again: open circuit ventilated, closed circuit ventilated, surface ventilated. In open circuit induced ventilation, forced ventilation. Next one is a cost consideration. We have to consider both cost, but we have to consider mainly running characteristics. Okay. Next one is a flywheel. Last topic flywheel. Okay. Up to here, 8 topics are completed. Okay. 8 factors are completed. Okay. This is the new topic load equalization, and it is the last topic load equalization. Okay. Load equalization means equaling loads. That means load should be maintained at a constant so that output will be smooth and operation is very flexible. Okay, to get that smoothness, these loads should be equalized. Okay, that means input is constant. Okay, input is constant, but these loads should be in a smooth condition. Okay, to make it smooth, we are applying a flywheel. Okay, these flywheel has two conditions. First condition is if load is increased on motor, if load is increased on the motor, flywheel decelerates and gives stored kinetic energy, gives stored kinetic energy. Okay, next one is if load is decreased on the motor, then flywheel accelerates and and stores and stores kinetic energy. Okay, in first condition, formula is Tm is equal to TL minus T naught into e power minus T by Jk. Okay, in second condition, Tm is equal to T naught minus Tm dash e power minus T by Jk, e power minus Jk. Once wait. Okay, Tm dash minus T naught. Here formula is a Tm dash minus T naught. Okay, here is the mistake. Here it is a formula Tm dash minus T naught into e power minus Jk. Okay, these are the topics in a first unit. Okay, thank you. First unit is completed. Okay, for bits and short answers, refer Sivanagarajan. Okay, refer Sivanagarajan. Okay, for bits and short answer questions. Okay, Sivanagarajan already in this PPT, in starting of PPT, I recommended some textbooks. In that textbooks, we can see that. Okay, this is the Sivanagarajan. Okay, this is the textbook Sivanagarajan. Okay, this is the textbook Sivanagarajan. Okay, follow this textbook for bits and short answer questions. Okay, he is the JNTU faculty and also HOD. Okay, so that bits may be given from this textbook. Okay, we are expecting. Okay, this is the book Sivanagarajan, Balasubbareddy and Srilata. Okay, okay, we will stop this session. Okay, first unit is completed. Thank you, thank you all. Okay, once wait, I will take attendance. Today attendance is very good. Almost all members are came. Okay, okay, attendance is taken. Thank you all.